So here we are, session 7 already. Session 7 of Mask of Nyarlathotep, a massively long Call of Cthulhu campaign that we are going to try to complete either with victory or with the destruction of the world. We'll see what happens. Last time, you guys are in New York City, January 1925. Your dear friend Elias Jackson had arranged for you to meet him here. He had something of great import to pass on, but unfortunately, he ended up murdered. And as you've been investigating his death, you've stumbled across a cult of some nature uh, who seemed to be onto you. A doctor contact managed to identify the symbol of the cult as something belonging to an ancient Egyptian cult that was driven out of dynastic Egypt about 3,000 years ago, and pointed you to a gentleman named Silas Nakwane, who operates an auction house, an antique store in Harlem called the Juju House. Mr. Nakwane was able to tell you that the symbol belongs to the cult of the Bloody Tongue, a cult that he identified as being extremely dangerous. Thanks to some good perception from Salvatore, he managed to determine that Silas knew more than he was letting on. And your further investigation indicates that Silas may in fact be involved with this cult. As you kind of like set in some surveillance on the Juju house, Luther noticed that there were guards posted outside the store, posing as winos, and a large number of people gathered Friday evening. Must have been 30, if not more. Far more than the store would actually be capable of holding. So there is a desire amongst people to investigate the Juju house more thoroughly.
Thanks very much. Have fun in masks as
well. In the meantime, though, you guys got to visit the Cotton Club, listen to some music. Evelyn tried to convince Luther to communicate with the spirits, which did not go well for her, as she had a vision of Elias's final moments, up close and personal, as it were. Leaving the Cotton Club, Volador noticed that you were being followed. You guys laid an ambush and managed to subdue 2 cultists who were then executed by Luther. Making plans to perhaps on Saturday investigate Juju House a little bit further. Your plan was interrupted by the notice in the newspaper that Jackson's funeral was on Saturday. Attending that, you realized that he had a sparse few friends, but you did meet his lawyer and his publisher. The lawyer's name is what was it? Carlton Ramsey, and his publisher is Jonah Kensington. Mr. Ramsey informed you that you were, of course, invited to the reading of the will, since you were mentioned in it, and he had planned to do that on Monday. Realizing that you have an appointment at the prison on Monday, you kindly asked him if he could move up the reading of the will. And he agreed to do so following the funeral. You just had to give him an hour or two to get everything ready, and then he gave you a business card with his office address on it. And that's where we let off, with you guys basically leaving the funeral.
Right. So go see the lawyer first, I suppose.
Yeah. And Mr. Kensington also extended an invitation to drop by the publishing house as well.
Was there much other people at the funeral?
There were not. There were you guys, Ramsey and Jonah, Ramsey's secretary, and a couple of reporters. One of which was the one from the New York Times that you guys have spoken to.
Okay.
Evelyn is dressed entirely in black. Little hat with the veil on it and everything. Because 1920s fashion.
The height of fashion.
The height of fashion.
Yeah,
I mean-
Luther's wearing a bomber jacket because he doesn't go anywhere without that thing.
Can't say I blame him. It's kept him alive so far.
And it's warm.
Yeah, it's warm.
That too. That too.
Fur collar and all.
Mm. Evelyn might be feeling a little envious right now. Ladies' fashion has never been known for warmth.
Or comfort.
Or comfort. Or pockets.
I was going to say, how are those pockets?
All in my purse.
So you guys have like an hour or so to kill if there's anything that fairly quick that you want to do before you can make your way to the lawyer's office.
Oh, I think we're sending Guerrero back to the hotel to heal.
Yeah, like the exertion the previous night and being out in the cold and everything. Like I mean, he's patched up, but like a little bit of blood is starting to seep through the bandages, sort of thing.
Yeah, dude from Mexico in the cold January in New York City. Probably not the best combination for someone who's trying to heal from nasty injuries. And I think Alvin is away out of guilt. We'll make Alvin take him back to the hotel
Perfect. All right.
and stand guard because hotel security isn't what it's cracked up to be.
Yes, and you guys do know that somebody broke into the smoke screen rooms that Dr. Carter had set up. Wisely, his paranoia and sense of maintaining plausible deniability meant that he gave Mr. Nakwane a false address, and the rooms that he gave to Nakwane were the ones that were broken into.
That's
You'll have to put him on the have a conversation list.
Oh yeah, he's involved, like definitely.
well,
But he's
if
also
nothing else, his
surrounded by
business
other
is-
cultists usually. So
Does anybody know where we're staying now? Anybody else know?
stay in.
I don't think we've given our actual hotel address to anyone. Not
Yeah.
to my knowledge, at least.
Yeah, I avoided using that hotel name and number.
You know, if we have about an hour to kill, maybe we should swing by my spot and see if anyone's keeping an eye on it. Because I actually live in New York.
Oh, we could.
Just gotta need to check on movement in New York because I know it takes time. So we just need to make sure we can get to that rendezvous on time.
Yes. Do you live in the city, Mr. Pratt?
Yeah, everybody lives in the city.
I'm sorry, there's an entire state that surrounds the city. Also, oddly, called New York.
And it's
I could
nothing
call
like
home
New
and see if anyone's keeping an eye on it, but I greatly doubt anyone is, and if they are. My brother can take care of it. He's
Well, I thought I would check out if they're scoping out my place, because if they are, then they know our names as well as where we're staying.
yes.
And if they're looking at my house, they're being proactive as opposed to just one guy that got hotel numbers from the good doctor here.
Yes, that I applaud your paranoia.
And I could show you my board.
Your what?
My board, with the thumbtacks and all the strings. And
Yes, absolutely. And if you ever come up north, I will have to hold a séance for you. And you can.
so, Chris, do you think we'd have time to swing by Luther's place, which has never been determined? But
Yeah, I would imagine so.
yeah, the idea is just to kind of see if anyone's watching the place, right? Is it being scoped in?
Gotcha. Yeah, you can definitely swing by. I'll assume that it's probably someplace in Manhattan.
Sure.
Give me a spot hidden roll. Everybody can give me a spot hidden.
Well,
That's a good roll.
Yeah, especially on your sleight of hand as opposed to spot hidden.
Shit.
just a regular difficulty.
Yep.
Hmm.
My dice haven't figured out what game I'm playing yet.
I don't know why Spot Hidden is not in the send advice sheet, but it's not.
It's under science.
It's in the third
Yeah.
column.
Yeah, it's just he's got the smaller sheet, and for some reason spot hidden
Yeah.
isn't listed on it.
Yeah,
Really?
it's weird.
And on the maximize sheet, some skill are not accessible because of my screen resolution.
Yeah.
So
I
I'll
found.
have to ask you to ask me for the skill.
Yep. You can. I found if you zoom a little bit on your browser, that will sometimes allow more of the sheet to be visible.
Sorry, it re-rolled the Spot Hidden, but I think my first one was pretty good.
I don't see either of them. Weird.
Yeah, they go.
All right. But yeah, you guys, carefully kind of take a look around Luther's place. Does Luther have like a little brownstone? Does he have an apartment?
I imagine he's in an apartment building. I mean, his credit rating's 40, so he's not super rich by any means. But he works as a mechanic at the airport, so he's probably got a fairly decent apartment. Lower middle class kind of style thing.
All right. But yeah, you guys take a look around. You don't spot anybody keeping an eye on it. There's a couple of people that look, vaguely suspicious. But Evelyn, you can tell that nobody is specifically watching the apartment building. And when you kind of go up to the apartment, nobody is specifically keeping an eye on the comings and goings either.
And just because this game is built around making dice rolls, can we tell if anyone's tried to break into the apartment?
That would be let's call that a locksmith roll.
My locksmith of 1% tells me that I don't know anything about locks.
Yeah, There's no obvious signs like the door's not hanging open or anything like that. The door jamb doesn't look scuffed or no more scuffed than it was when you left.
There are no tools sticking out of it.
No tools sticking out of it. So as best as you can determine, it doesn't look like anybody has tried to get in.
All right, we'll just take a quick look. I know we don't have a lot of time, so we'll just take a look, make sure the apartment's in one piece.
Yeah,
And then,
it is exactly as you left it.
Evelyn will kind of stand in the living room and kind of just look around the room.
yeah, so I imagine the apartment's pretty bare. Like after, what was it, Peru we were in? He took some sanity damage while he was there. So he's spent quite a bit of time working on all these conspiracy theories, not like a cult war kind of thing, but like he's got a big board where he's tracking things like Bigfoot or lots of different urban myths, right? If Alvin was here, he'd look at it and realize that it's just nonsense. He is not an investigator, but he's trying. He's trying.
He's at least got his eyes open.
Somewhat, yeah. I have a bookshelf, lots of books. He's very high. He's an educated guy, actually. 83 education, so. But everything's clean. He's a military guy, right? So the bed's made, the dishes are put away, the laundry's put away, everything's in its place for everything in its place kind of deal.
The exact opposite of every gamer.
Definitely not my house.
But yeah, absolutely everything is just where you left it. And no signs that anybody's been in here since the last time you were here.
Probably maybe some mail on the door or something.
Yep.
Perfect. Well, I mean, it's all we really could figure out. They're not looking proactively. If they knew our names and were looking proactively, they would be staking this place out, I would expect, right?
Most likely.
The phone book and all that. Is there phone books in the 1920s?
Probably.
Probably.
If the ones from the 70s and 80s are any indication, they've got your full address listed there.
Right?
Privacy? What? No.
But that's really only if you have your own phone, right?
Yes. Yeah, if Luther doesn't have his own phone, then.
Yeah, I don't know how common that is at the time.
I think the house that Evelyn shares with her brother has a phone.
But yeah,
But still, the point stands.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. There's no sign that they know your identities, and they don't know which actual hotel you're staying at because the one that they were given was false. So it seems like you bought yourself at least a little bit of breathing room.
That's a good sign.
I have to say, I like this. This is quite cozy.
Thank you.
Not at all what I expected for living in New York City.
Well, I mean, it's not the largest place in the world. But
No, but I don't know. I thought it would be louder. I don't know why.
well, come back in the summer. It's a lot of it's easier to get around.
That's true. Everyone isn't freezing. But no, this is lovely. Thank you for bringing us here. And I haven't noticed anyone watching us either.
Neither have I. And the door didn't look tampered with, so
Also a good thing.
that tells me probably they don't know exactly who we are. Maybe what we look like.
But not names enough to hunt us down.
Gotta call that good news, I think.
Usually it would try to discourage paranoia, but this has proven to be a safer course of action, so paranoia it is.
I'm not being paranoid. I'm trying to figure out if they know anything about us. It's
Yeah.
It's an investigation technique, and Alvin would understand.
Yeah, it's just it would all of this would have been crazy to me a few weeks ago, but right now it absolutely makes sense that we take those precautions. That's all I'm
Well,
saying.
maybe we can go see a lawyer before somebody tries to kill us again.
That sounds
Yes.
like a fine plan.
Perfect. All right. So yeah, you guys can easily like hail a cab to Ramsey's office. Ramsey's office is in Harlem, 124th Street and Lenox Avenue to be precise.
We like Harlem.
It's basically right around here.
Oh, yeah, we've been close to here before.
Mm,
You guys have been close to here before.
kinda, yeah.
It's it's several blocks from the Juju house, but it's still in rough vicinity.
Kind of in the same district anyway.
Yep. And when you arrive, his secretary, who you saw at the funeral with him, um, fairly young woman, looks like this is probably like her first job, sort of thing. Shows you into the office. Ramsey's already seated there. He's got like some papers on the desk. When you enter, he's like, "Okay, Willa, just close the door behind you, and if we need anything, I will send for you." She kind of nods and goes back to her little desk outside. It's a very small office, very simply decorated, neatly kept.
Oh, nice.
Just for mood, I found a picture of like a 1920s office.
Very cool.
And when the door closes, he motions for you all to have a seat.
Thanks.
It's like, are any of you law enforcement?
No.
It's a strange question for a lawyer to ask.
Especially when we're here for a will reading.
Oh, he reaches into like the bottom drawer of his desk and he pulls out like a bottle of like good quality bootleg bourbon.
Absolutely not law enforcement here.
Question makes sense now, though.
Uh, and he'll offer everybody a drink.
Evelyn will take one.
I mean, I'm not American. This thing does not concern me. Or not.
Excellent. He'll kind of like raise his glasses like two absent friends.
Yes.
To absent friends.
Quite.
Share with him.
And he'll just like kind of leave the bottle kind of in the middle of his desk. Like, so my understanding is that Jackson thought very highly of you. He had mentioned the people that he had met in his journeys many times. Gave me a list of contact information should I ever need it. He kind of like taps this little black book that's on his desk. But as Providence would have it, you were here in the city already, so that is convenient. Jackson visited me on Thursday. Was worried about making sure that his will was up to date. Seemed an odd request for someone young. But we all know that Jackson often bit up far more than he could chew. He didn't say anything exactly, but I think he was afraid that people were after him. I've never seen him in quite such a state. And he wanted to make sure that his affairs were in order should the worst happen. Kind of takes a pause, takes another drink.
Yeah, it was. I spoke to him on the phone the night he was murdered. And seemed panicked that when we spoke as well. It's not like Jackson. And I've known him a long time.
Oh, I mean, he was excitable for sure, but never
Not prone to panic.
not prone to panic. Caution certainly, but panic was not a characteristic I would ascribe to him.
I can tell you, him and I got into an awful lot of scrapes over the years. I assure you, panic is not part of his character. So whatever he's got himself into, or gotten himself into, it's something serious.
Without a doubt. Well, I suppose we should get to the business at hand.
Unfortunately.
So he reads through the will. He does kind of stop here and there to explain details such and such. But the main gist of the will, the synopsis, for lack of a better term, is that Elias has given power of attorney to Ramsey, who has complete authority to liquidate his assets. These assets are to be used to create and manage a fund. The will requests that any of his friends who attend the reading of the will make use of this fund to continue his investigation, specifically into the Carlisle expedition. Ramsey will make disbursements from the fund to pay for travel, accommodations, living costs, equipment purchases, legal bills, and medical expenses. Please make sure you provide necessary receipts and send them to me in a timely fashion. Should you decide to pursue this, Elias has asked that I act as a central point of contact if you require coordination or communication. I can also assist with the recruitment if you need to hire specialists or to bolster your numbers should any of you be unable or unwilling to continue. And again, he'll tap his little black book. The sum total of the assets at the fund's disposal are $50,000.
Hi.
And he is adamant that this is to be used to further his investigation. He felt this was possibly the most important thing that he would ever do.
Which means he's onto something. Something big, and probably something dangerous, knowing him.
I totally. When he visited me, he did leave a letter that was to be read to you. Just a second. And he kind of looks through his papers. And finds this letter. Just have to make it bigger so I can read it. All right. It says, greetings from beyond the grave. But now you know that I've really left you in a whole heap of trouble. If I were still around to have an opinion on the matter, I would understand if you decided to walk away from it all. Hell, if I'm dead right now, that's a good indication I should have done the same. But you know me too well, and I know you too well. If you were the kind of person who always did the sensible thing, we wouldn't be such good friends. You've been there when I needed you in the past, and I hope you will be again, even if it's too late for me. I've been pulling threads all over the world, and while most of them are still unraveling, I think I'm onto something big. Carlton and Jonah can fill in more of the details for you. I've left some of my papers and notes with them, which should help you work out which hornet's nest you need to poke next. I trust you to bring my killers to justice. Of course, I'm assuming I was murdered. It will be just plain embarrassing if I was run over by a trolley car. Follow my investigation to its bloody end and seek out the truth. I'm not asking you to finish my book. None of you can write worth a damn. Your friend always, Jackson.
Well, I can only speak for myself, but one part of that letter is absolutely true. We're going to find out who's responsible for his murder. Or I am.
I will have trouble resting until we're done with this. I have no intention of not seeing this through.
Excellent. And of course, should you require any assistance at all, don't hesitate to contact my office.
Well, I'll certainly take a card.
And he'll pass each of you, actually, he'll give you a couple of business cards for your friends that aren't here.
Because we're most certainly going to need a lawyer at some point, I'm sure.
Hopefully not, but I do come highly recommended.
It appears so.
And if you do require any disbursement of funds, just get in touch. Make sure I have the receipts, and I will make sure that you are reimbursed.
Okay.
Did Elias leave anything else?
Nothing else with me. Any notes or anything that he had, he would have sent to Jonah.
Okay. I was hoping for leads and clues on his great breakthrough.
That would undoubtedly be in the correspondence he sent to Mr. Kensington. Anything related to works in progress or books would go to Prospero Publishing.
Yes.
I mean, I can contact Jonah and have him send over what he has, if you wish.
Oh, we had planned to go meet with him.
I see.
Oh, I was just expecting him to have put something into your safeguard. I don't know why. If he was expecting trouble.
No, but he always did like to keep things very close.
Yes.
And perhaps he felt that if I had more information, I would become a target. Maybe that means he likes me more than Jonah.
Well, he seems to be leaving some troubles for the people he likes. Even so.
That seems like him.
We'll do our best to keep that trouble off your door, if we can.
And I will do my best to assist you in any way I can.
So he wanted us to try to solve his murder, but try to solve the greater conspiration thing he was working on.
Yeah. Yeah, if this is the sort of thing that frightened him, then who knows how big it is.
Yeah.
Do you happen to know anyone at City Hall? In your little book?
I do know some people at City Hall.
There's a place called the Juju Club or Juju House that we saw a bunch of people who we think are connected with Elias's murder. Kind of enter into this building, but there was far too many that would fit. Wonder if there's a old city plan maybe somewhere, or think you could ask around.
I suspect something underground.
Uh,
Maybe floor plans exist.
Or into a neighboring building. Or...
yeah, I can certainly have someone look. Do you happen to have the address, or I can look that up?
No, I'd give him the address.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the office will be closed. They won't be open up again until Monday, but I can look into this for sure.
Something funny going on in there, and just if you can give us some insight, that'd be a long way.
Okay. Yeah. And as you talk, he's like just kind of making notes so he doesn't forget. Yeah, I'll reach out to some people that I know in City Hall on first thing Monday morning.
Any thoughts, Miss Collins?
No, I think this is an excellent place to start. And that you should absolutely see Mr. Jonas.
I agree.
Or, sorry, Mr. Kensington.
And Ramsey will kind of look at the clock. It's like, he may still be in the office. You might be able to catch him before he leaves for the weekend.
I think he was expecting us.
Oh, excellent.
Well, Mr. Ramsey, thank you for your time and seeing us at such short notice.
Of course. It's hopefully we can do right by Elias.
We're gonna try.
We will certainly do our best to do so.
Quite.
All right. Perfect. So when you're ready, the secretary will kind of show you out. Again, catching a cab in New York at this time of year, not difficult. You can make your way to Prospero House. It's in Manhattan. It's not in Harlem.
$50,000, eh?
That's an extraordinary amount for incidentals and travel.
That's a large sum for not writing the book.
Hmm.
I just wonder what he was looking into.
What he was expecting, that he would need that amount of money.
Well, I know he's looking into this expedition, but you know Elias, it's not what he's looking into.
Well, he was looking into the Kyle expedition. The problem is, what did he found that warrants such gigantic work? Don't think we'll be done with this before long.
He got murdered by a cult. So there's all kinds of no good involved in all this.
While investigating someone else getting murdered. Way more
And
murder than that.
someone in Africa too, right? I think it was Africa for the expedition.
Egypt.
Possible. I'll need to check it out.
seems quite a bit more involved than the expedition in Peru. That seemed practically straightforward by comparison.
And the expedition in Peru was a big mess. So if this is worse than Peru,
We don't know that. All we know is there's some tomfoolery happening here.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We don't know
So
if there's anything Peru related happening here.
That's true, but the expedition was looking for something.
now I'm just troubled by the fact that there's way more people involved in this than I would have liked.
Well, hopefully we'll get some clues by talking to this publisher.
Yes. Let's hope so.
Oh, I see Mark's computer has rebooted, but if you're talking, we still can't hear you.
And we're dragging this out as best we can, buddy.
We're trying, Mark. We're trying.
Are you on for Discord? Are you using the app or are you using the website? Excuse us, their audience, as we troubleshoot. Okay. Check under user settings down at the bottom. Little thing looks like a gear. And then scroll down to voice and video. Oh, it lit up. There we go.
I am going to smack my head.
Oh,
But we can
I-
hear you now.
I forgot because of how rough a day I've had. I forgot that I set this up for push to talk.
oh,
Oh no.
oh. Oh well. On the plus side, at least there was nothing serious wrong with your computer.
Yeah, but I just wasted mine and everybody else's time. I totally until you told me to look at the cog, I was like, shoot, I set this up for push to talk because of background noise. Ugh.
Oh. No worries. We've just done the reading of the will.
Oh, okay.
The high level overview is that he has authorized his lawyer to liquidate his assets and set up a fund to the tune of $50,000 to be used to further his investigation into the Carlisle expedition.
Okay. I cannot believe that. Ugh.
That's
I
okay.
did that before. I did that before. Don't worry. You're not the only one.
I've done that before. I've had my volume turned way down so nobody could hear me, even though I was pushing the push to talk button. I've done it all. So
The worst thing is Windows did its update fairly quickly, but then decided to go into this cleaning up mode, which took for frickin' ever.
all right. No worries at all. But yes, the reading of the will has happened. There is a fund to set up. Should you guys choose to further his investigations, you'll be reimbursed for travel expenses, accommodations, food, equipment, lawyer fees, medical bills. All of that will be reimbursed, provided you have receipts.
Chris, what's the current year?
Pardon?
The current year, I closed the calendar. And
1925.
so $50,000 is the
There you go.
equivalent of 850,000.
Yeah. It's a lot for plane tickets.
Yep.
Yep.
Boat tickets, but
Boat ticket,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
and Ramsey has also let it be known that he does have a list of contacts and allies that Elias has used in the past. So if you need to find a specialist for something, or if you're at the point where one of your party is unwilling or unable to continue on, he has people that he can call. Basically, the Little Black Book is the source of replacement characters.
Nice.
But other than that, there was also a letter that Jackson wrote that's in the journals. Everybody should have access to it now. I think it's entry number 10. And he stated that he had passed correspondence onto his publisher, onto Jonah Kensington, which is where the group is en route to now in a taxi.
Is there anybody else that's not a PC that was listed as a beneficiary?
No. And it's not a beneficiary. It's basically anybody who is taking up his cause can access the fund.
It's a PC fund.
It's a PC fund.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if he had any like potential jealous relatives that might show up or something.
No. The sole overseer of the estate and the assets is his lawyer, Carlton. Carlton Ramsey.
Carlton Ramsey.
So are we still at the lawyer's place, or are we on our way somewhere else?
If you have any
En
questions, we can backtrack. Otherwise, they are en route to Prospero Publishing.
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. So Prospero Publishing, it's a modest publishing house. They don't do bestsellers. They basically do books that deserve to be published in their opinion, because they are of interest to readers. They are fairly friendly and informal. Luther, you would know that Jonah Kensington, the publisher and editor, he is the gentleman who he has edited all of Elias's books, and was a friend of Elias's. They go back to when they were both copy boys at the New York Times.
Gotcha.
And when you arrive, it's a fairly modest building. There's nobody here other than Kensington and his receptionist. He's like, "Oh, I was not expecting you quite so quickly. I was just about to close for the day, but important matters, I'm sure."
Quite, yeah.
And he makes sure that his receptionist isn't listening in. He's like, I thought Elias's investigations would lead to something like this, but deep down, I hoped that it would never come to pass. You know what I mean?
Well, we've got a mutt of a few situations similar to this. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do so this time. Mostly because we have no idea what he's doing. But apparently you might have some insight on what he's working on.
He sent me some correspondence and some notes from the field as he traveled. I think that either old enemies caught up with him, or his new project was much more important or dangerous than than even he believed. He was researching, as you know, he was researching the Carlisle expedition, the tragedy that happened a few years back in Nairobi.
That's why I called us all here.
And Elias, with his fascination on blood cults and death cults, he believed that perhaps a blood cult was responsible for the massacre. Not out of the realm of possibility, I suppose. But he came to believe that not all of the principals of the expedition had been killed. And he'll kind of yell out for his receptionist. He's like, "Marla, bring me the correspondence file." So she brings in a file. It's not super thick. It's like 5 or 6 pages in it. It's like this is a letter that Jonas or Elias sent to me. Jackson sent to me from Nairobi in August. It says, "Dear Jonah, big news. There's a possibility that not all of the members of the Carlisle expedition died. I have a lead. The authorities here deny the cult angle. The natives are telling a very different tune. You wouldn't believe the stories. Some juicy notes coming your way. This one may make us all rich. Blood and kisses, Jay."
You say blood and kisses?
He certainly did.
Yeah.
I take it you never had any written correspondence with him.
So it seems as though Jackson managed to dig up some sort of evidence that contradicts the testimony during the inquest and the trial in Kenya. He did send the notes as promised. So I will drop this one. I dropped the letter, and I'll drop this one into the America Discovered handouts.
They're so hard to read.
Yeah, you can zoom out a bit and stuff. Or you can should be able to pop it out and be able to zoom it that way too. All right, the Nairobi notes. Set 1 of the Nairobi notes sets forth the offices, officials, and tribes which Elias has visited, searching for material concerning cults and cult rituals. He mentions Robert Corridon, the Colonial Undersecretary for Internal Affairs, but nothing conclusive was learned. Something about the official version of the Carlisle massacre doesn't match up. Set 2 of the notes describes his trip to the massacre site. The earth there is completely barren, and all of the tribes of the region avoid the place, saying it is cursed by the god of the black wind, whose home is the nearby mountaintop. Set 3 is an interview with Johnstone Kenyatta, who says the Carlisle murders may have been performed by the cult of the Bloody Tongue. He says the cult is reputedly based in the mountains, and that its high priestess is part of the Mountain of the Black Wind. Elias is skeptical, but Kenyatta insists upon the point. In quotes, Elias records that regional tribes fear and hate the Bloody Tongue, that tribal magic is no protection against the cult, and that the cult's god is not of Africa. Set 4 follows up on the Kenyatta interview. Elias confirms from several good sources that the Bloody Tongue exists, though he finds no first-hand evidence of it. Tales include children stolen for sacrifice, and creatures with great wings are said to come down from the mountain of the Black Wind to carry people off. The cult worships a god unknown to folklore, one fitting no traditional African pattern. Elias lists San Mariga Railway Station, Novel Jimin, Dr. Sterrett, Lieutenant Selkirk, and Colonel Endicott as people he questioned. Set 5 is a single sheet reminding Elias that the Cairo-based portion of the Carlisle itinerary must be examined carefully. He believes that the reason which prompted Carlisle's Kenyan side trip is on the Nile. Set 6 is a long interview with Lieutenant Mark Selkirk, leader of the men who actually found the remains of the Carlisle expedition. Importantly, Selkirk says that the bodies were remarkably undecayed for the length of time which they lay in the open, almost as if decay itself wouldn't come near the place. Secondly, the victims had been torn apart as if by animals, though what sort of animal would pull apart bodies so systematically, he could not guess. Unimaginable, inexplicable. Selkirk agrees that the Nandis may have had something to do with the episode, but suspects that the charges against the ringleaders were trumped up. It wouldn't be the first time, he says cynically. Finally, Selkirk confirms that no Caucasians were found amongst the dead. Only the corpses of the Kenyan bearers were scattered across the barren plain, despite what was claimed at the inquest. Set 7 is another single sheet. Elias ran into Nails Nelson at the Victoria Bar in Nairobi. Nelson had been a mercenary for the Italians on the Somalia-Byzantine border and escaped into Kenya after double-crossing his employers. Nelson claimed to have seen Jack Brady alive in Hong Kong less than 2 years before Elias was in Kenya and long after the Kenyan court declared Brady and the rest of the expedition dead. Brady was friendly, though guarded and taciturn. Nelson didn't press the conversation. This report only strengthened Elias's belief that the principal members of the expedition might still live. Set 8 discusses a possible structure for the Carlisle book, but is mostly featured with entries like "Tell what happened" and "Explain why."
Such detailed outlines.
Detailed outlines.
That's a lot.
So after I received this packet of correspondence, I didn't hear anything else from Elias until the middle of last month. And he wired me from London. His telegram was very excited. And he kind of looks. It's like, and honestly, a bit crazy sounding. He said he'd been in London for a few days and he dug up a lot of stuff. He said he'd seen unbelievable things. Something about a plan or a conspiracy of monstrous proportions. Something about a timetable needing to find a missing piece. Mentioned having to go to Australia, but Telegram didn't explain any more. The telegram ended saying that he would soon be in New York, and he was booking passage on a freighter, the Farralope, the next morning.
Sorry, the Farralope was coming to New York or leaving New York?
From London to New York.
Right.
So, middle of last month, so around December 16th, 1924, was when he boarded the freighter to come to New York. So, literally the last place he was before arriving in New York. When he got here, he did leave some more notes with me, but they're not like anything that I've ever received from him before. They're fragmentary, disorganized.
You mentioned nothing about meeting with a Australian professor from Argam.
No. Honestly, knowing that you're friends of Jackson's, I don't think I would show these to people that weren't that didn't know him. They don't speak well of him, I'm afraid.
It might give us some insight into what he was doing, though.
Perfect. All right. So I will drop that one in too. That is number 13.
Or who to avoid.
So this last set of notes, it's basically like a bunch of pages that are like folded and stitched together to form like a little booklet about 40 pages in length. Sometimes pages, even like 5, 6, a dozen pages at a time are just blank. Sometimes it's just like a single word repeated over and over and over for several pages. Um, it's clearly in his handwriting, but uh, like um, like messy and like barely legible. As you can tell if you look at the journal entry.
Yeah. Handwriting's worse than mine.
But to summarize, it says many names, many forms, but all the same in toward one end. Need help. Too big, too ghastly. These dreams like Carlyle's. Check that psychoanalyst files. All of them survived. They'll open the gate. Why? So the power and danger is real. Many threads beginning. The books are in Carlyle's safe. Coming for me. Will the ocean protect? No quitters now. Must tell and make readers believe. Should I scream for them? Let's scream together.
Carlisle safe. And who's the psychoanalyst?
And Kensington kind of checks his notes. That would probably be. And he's like going through his notes as I look to find the name. That would be probably Dr. Huston, Dr. Houston. He was a psychiatrist of some note that Carlisle was seeing prior to the start of the expedition.
It's his office here in New York.
It was when he was pronounced deceased. The records were taken to the Medical Affairs Board on Park Avenue.
Oh.
Yeah, the files were boxed, marked, stored. They are, of course, medical records, so they are confidential.
Dr. Houston's deceased?
He was part of the expedition.
Oh, okay. Just trying to piece all this together. I wish all of them were here.
But as you can see from this last letter from him, this is not like him at all.
No.
I'm used to him being a bit more grounded, let's say.
Yes.
Sensible.
Yeah, I mean, the words are bad enough, but the blank spaces and the gaps and the repeated words, that is, I don't know what to make for this.
I feel he was confronted by something quite traumatic.
That was my fear as well.
It doesn't remove any value from his finding, just his delivery is a bit lacking right now.
And I have had other writers, contemporaries, asking about his notes, wanting to finish his work, but vultures and grave robbers are all they were, and I definitely don't want them to. I don't want anything that might besmirch his name,
Yes.
He asked us to pick up the trail where he left off, so
Well, if it's of any use to you, you can certainly take this correspondence.
That would be, I imagine, eventually quite helpful. Once we've sorted out who some of these people are and where they were last.
Of course.
We need a board.
Well, maybe a hotel room wall will do.
But anything you can do that might shed some light on this. Just, I hate for my last interaction with him to be sullied. You know, I'm doing my best to remember what he was and not what he was like the last time I saw him.
Well, none of us are at our best when we aren't sleeping well, and I imagine that was probably part of it.
Probably. He did mention something about dreams. Maybe he was having nightmares.
Or even just that much travel all at once.
That's possible too.
This is all you have on his research for this particular book, eh?
This is what I have. And to be clear, it's a stack of notes. The handout is basically the summary.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 7, 8 entries of sections of notes, right?
Yeah. This is everything that he sent me.
Well, Mr. Kensington, we're endeavoring to try to find out what happened to Elias. He's a dear friend of ours. And I, for one, I'm not going to rest until I find out who killed him and why. So thank you. This will help.
Excellent. And if there's anything I can do to assist you, just let me know. If I come across any other things that he sent that were perhaps misfiled or anything, I will let you know.
Or things that might have still been in transit,
Yes.
depending on where he mailed them from.
Of course, I should have thought of that. If anything else does come my way, I will get it to you. Is there an easy way to get it to you? I suppose I could probably take it to Mr. Ramsey. I'm sure he would be able to get it to you.
That would do
Prob-
quite nicely.
Probably the best way, yeah.
Excellent.
Did Jackson have a girlfriend?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Me either. It's kind of strange.
Well, he traveled a lot. He had a lot of acquaintances and few friends. So I suppose it's hard to be attached to someone when you may disappear for months on end to track down, the researches of an ancient death cult in Nepal or whatever. So
Makes sense.
I think you could say he was married to his work.
Okay. Well, hopefully this work that he's done will give us some insight.
I hope so.
Anyone have any questions? I think I'm out.
I don't have anything. It's been a day. Perhaps after we've gone through these notes and sorted out a few things, something might come to mind, but not until we've had a chance to pore over them.
I was going to say, maybe perhaps after a dinner, a drink, and a good night's sleep, and going through these notes, we can formulate a plan. Otherwise, my next thought was, so are we going to Kenya?
Not soon, I hope.
Well, there's closer problems than Kenya that we need to deal with first, I think.
Quite.
Well, um, perhaps if you have any further questions, you can contact me. I really do need to get some sleep.
Yes, you have a business card.
Certainly.
We're starting a collection.
All right, Mr. Kensington. Thanks so much for your time, especially on short notice and it being so late.
No, of course. Um, I wish you luck with your endeavors.
We'll try to keep you up to date.
Thank you. And who knows, perhaps Elias has one good story left in him, even if it's posthumous.
He's made it clear he doesn't want us writing the book, so we'll leave that up to you.
Okay.
So yeah, let's get something to eat and see what we could find delving into this nonsense.
So yeah, you guys can easily grab a cab back to your actual hotel. Nobody has come looking for you or anything.
Good. Well, shall we get a board started?
And I'll get the string.
Do we need a big board and some thumbtacks?
I look forward to seeing you in action, Mr. Pratt. This will be most illuminating. I would offer to gather food up for us, but I don't think I'd carry it back terribly well. And I doubt that I could manage to find a bottle. And I'm sure that before the end of the night, we'll probably want one.
Probably so. I gotta round us up some food and all that. Don't know about the bottle. But
I'm sure by the time we need it, we'll be happy to leave the hotel for a few minutes. As long as we're all watching our backs rather carefully.
All right. So yeah, so you guys can. Are you guys getting a meal in the restaurant, or are you like getting room service?
I think it'd just look cooler in the montage if we got room service.
Okay.
You know, sitting around with the plates and paper scattered everywhere, and a board starting to get made.
Yeah.
Everyone reading a note, trying to make sense of it.
Well, you do have we have two, about 20 odd handouts of information.
Yeah, there's a lot. I'm like, what the? How do you even?
We need Jaime's board in the background. His whiteboard is handy.
I bet you there's a software app that could do that.
Oh yeah. There's the one that we used to keep map notes on for Fallout.
Yeah, something like Miro or any of those.
Oh,
project
yeah, yeah.
management things. Yeah.
Because that'd be kind of cool just to
I mean, I've got a flow chart, but you guys aren't seeing it.
No.
No, but Jaime's awesome at this. You give that to Jaime, he'll make up a.
Yeah.
We'll have a board with
We'll
yarn.
have a board. Yeah, and it'll be yarn. Yeah.
But yes, you guys have a ton of information now. And the good news is, since it's Saturday evening, on Sunday, things are closed. So you've got a whole day with nothing really to do unless you want to go to church.
Pass.
I imagine Luther would go to church. I mean, people are really religious in the 20s.
Oh, yeah. Evelyn's still gonna pass. It's a little too rigid for my taste. But you have fun. See if you can get us some holy water on your way out.
I don't think they sell holy water. What would we need? What would we need holy water for?
I don't know. Maybe if we could throw it at the next people who attack us. Distract them in an alleyway.
Next one that attacks us, I'm going to do the same thing I did to the last one. Shoot them.
I can't very well disagree with that.
So he thinks that the Caucasians of the Carlisle expedition survived.
Mm-hmm. Seems that way.
And he believes that, I guess, this cult was responsible for the attack on the expedition.
With strange things with wings that tore them apart.
That was more on the crazy side of the note, right?
I mean, yes, it was, but I'm not that familiar with the wild creatures of Africa. I don't know about you.
I'm not aware of anything that flies and tears people apart. Do you think that'd be common knowledge?
Sorry, which people were torn apart again? Locals like guides and tribesmen?
I think so.
Yeah,
It's hard to tell these notes.
uh, from the notes, it was from what he could tell, it was like the bearers and the porters of the expedition, but not the actual expedition members.
That makes sense if they were trying to protect the people who hired them. It doesn't make sense if the people who were from that area should have known more about the dangers of that area. Or maybe these creatures just didn't have a taste for foreign food.
So I'm looking at this big stack of papers that we've called number 12. So he actually went to that massacre site, and he said the earth is completely barren, and that the tribes of the regions avoid the place, saying it's cursed by the god of the Black Wind, whoever the hell that is, whose home is nearby, is in a nearby mountaintop. Now, when we were in Peru, didn't those guys stop? The guys that were leading us through kind of stopped leading us at a certain point, said they wouldn't go any further. I just wonder if that's common for these, uncivilized people. To have common sense and shit.
It'd be a little more cautious. Uh, yes, I thought so. At one point, we were sort of left on our own. Let me scroll back through my notes.
So set 3 is saying he had an interview with Johnstone Kenyatta, who believes the murders were performed by the cult of the Bloody Tongue. Now, we've run into those guys. But apparently they're based in the mountains. I assume this is in Africa.
I would think so.
What are they doing in New York? And why is there 30 of them?
It's a good question. And how'd they get here?
And all of those people didn't look like Africans. And that would be clearly obvious if there was 30 Africans walking through New York in a big group. You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, yes.
And Alvin said nothing stood out from any of those guys that went in that building. So this clearly reaches beyond Africa.
Does now.
This wasn't so long ago, right?
Depends on which note you're looking at. I mean, the Carlisle expedition, I think the first notes were 6 years ago. 5.5. 1919 sometime. As she shuffles through paper.
Oh, there's so many papers.
April 1919.
1919, so 5 years ago.
Yeah, that is when they left New York for London.
So certainly not the distant past, anyway.
No. Not like we're chasing something down through the centuries.
Five years ago.
6 years ago.
6. Well, I mean, still 6 years is remarkably fast to have a presence, assuming that presence didn't already exist in America. Like, this has to be older than 6 years. Like, that cult exists, but the notes we have here say it's African based, not New York based.
Not if they all came together. I mean, when we went to Peru, we all stayed together as much as possible. Why wouldn't they do the same? Strangers in a strange land, they stick together.
Yeah, but Alvin said that all those people that were coming in just seemed like normal New York people.
That's a little odd.
Hey, we can go to Peru, but we can't pretend we're Peruvians, Parisians,
And
whatever.
Persia's a different place entirely.
It's close. It's got sand.
I think it'd be hard pressed to find anywhere in the world that doesn't have sand. It might be hidden under a layer of snow and ice, but it's there. But yes, if they've been recruiting locally, well, the Carlisle expedition had already gathered and left when we were in Peru. So
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like that long.
I'm just saying that to have a group with that many members, that doesn't happen overnight, right? Like if we recruited today, even with that nest egg that Elias left us, to get an organized group of 30 that are behaving in a certain way and set up guards and military
Yeah.
training and all that would take a long time, right? Like it's not done overnight by any means. Feels that this group has been here longer than just a few years.
Would it take longer than a few years, do you think?
It would take all of a few years. Assuming they're competent. Now they might not be.
Well, I mean, you did get the jump on them in an alleyway.
No, I brought 2 giant people and a pistol with me, but
That did help, I'm sure. Not to besmirch your bravery or anything.
no sense fighting a fair fight. So people get dead.
Mm-hmm. It is indeed. All right, so how should we sort these? Things about the Carlisle expedition itself. Or should we just put everything in a chronological order?
My little brain exercise, I'm looking for almost dissorted by geography.
Mm. All right.
Trying to.
Warren Benford was in Egypt.
And the expedition was heading for King Solomon's Mines, right?
I think so. Let me shuffle
Yeah.
through.
Rumored to perhaps be seeking King Solomon's Mines. They were killed in Africa. We know this. Or at least some of them were.
And there's probably a link between something they were uncovering and something the cult didn't want it to be uncovered. And the knife from the cult did come from Africa.
And the cult, which is named in some of these letters here, is the same name that we determine goes with the scar that was on Elias's forehead, right?
So even if Silas is part of the cult, they didn't lie to us about the name of the cult.
Silas is somebody I wouldn't mind talking to.
Yeah.
Twist his thumbs a little.
Just assume he's going to be surrounded by cultists most of the time, even if we don't spot them.
Certainly now.
There was a few customer in the shop while we were there to visit. I assume some of them were regular, let's say.
The shop wouldn't be open today.
No,
Not at this
definitely
time.
not. Miriam Atwright is at Harvard, and she'll set aside the letter from Miriam. So she'll set aside like paper number 6. That's not terribly far. I mean, all things considered, it's at least on this continent.
About the books he wanted to consult?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that for a while.
You'd probably have the easiest time talking to her, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Well, I'm not sophisticated enough? Sophisticated enough?
You're
It's
no doctor. I mean, you have your
the-
charms, but
The
No,
academic crew have their own parties. Let's say.
You know, Robert has a sister living here in New York as well,
Oh.
Erica Carlisle.
hmm
That could go onto the pile of same continent.
yes.
Oh yes, his sisters. Yeah, I remember what I read about her.
Cowles led us to the fellow with the apartment. Uh, Chris, do we not have handout number 9?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Aha! Okay, this handwriting is far too tiny for me to read. Chris, do you have a text version of number 10?
No, I don't.
Damn.
Just a sec, though. I'll see if I throw it in Discord. It might be easier to read.
Maybe.
If you pop it out, you could kind of do a little zoomy work on it, but it is.
I still.
I mean,
can't
it's
get
shitty cursive to begin with.
it. Well, yeah. That's the thing. Like, my handwriting's horrible, but holy cow. I'm out of practice reading cursive. It's a long time since high school.
Hey, but we could still do it. If we plot against the next generation, they'll never know what we're saying.
I actually like to write
That's
things
very
down, so.
All right, there in the Discord.
Oh, that's much better, Chris.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But yeah, you don't see cursive very often anymore. Eh?
Nope. Just when we're plotting to overthrow our kids.
I still can't believe that $50,000 is worth $850,602.86.
That's a lot of. It's a lot of investigating money.
There's a graph that shows buying power from the 1920s to now. It's depressing. I'm not even going to post it.
No. No. It'll just make you sad.
Alright, I'm already sad.
I mean, it's the least favorite time of the year.
Yep.
Yeah. Alrighty. So we have the book.
If there's a couple of blank page, there might be some obfuscation technique though.
What do you mean?
Some methods are used to dissimulate text. If you purposely left some pages blank, if he was in a paranoid state, you might have tried to use some of those. Like writing with lemons or stuff like that.
Like a spy
Really?
in the movies.
Yeah.
Still movies. I think there's movies that I. Yeah, there's movies that I.
Yeah, that we have a movie
Silent.
star with us. So yeah,
Yeah,
there's
silent movies.
I'm just curious about
I'm having
if
Sherlock
if
Holmes
he did take the
flashbacks now.
time to bind together pages that are blanks, there
He
might be
skipped them
something
for a
about that.
reason.
Yeah.
Right.
They're
I mean-
Not
clearly
exactly
bound,
one
but
to waste
still bad.
pages.
I'll take a look, see if I can see anything out of the ordinary. But
I think, isn't it lemon? You have to warm it up.
Yeah. Safest way is using coal iron.
Huh?
Some people suggest using a flame, but you just set your paper on fire.
Yeah, that would be iffy. Um, It might. I don't know if the radiator would get warm enough. It might.
I mean, I wouldn't want to risk the paper, so I'll make sure that we use a safe way.
Hmm. Or you could just hold it up and make sure that he hadn't written anything on a page over it.
Yeah.
My brother's terrible for that. He presses down so firmly. It doesn't matter what he's been writing on. You can tell that he's been writing there. So there might be something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth a shot.
Let me check that out.
Okay. Give me. I'm trying to think what would be appropriate.
Library use.
No, I'm thinking it would be more of like an arts and crafts, like photography, kind of like developing film.
I have forgery.
Yeah, not really.
Photography
I
would
have-
be more. I think either Mr. Sharp or Miss Collins had some photography.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
I'm
you
a
can help me
45
trying to.
photography. I can certainly take a look. See if I can suss anything out of this.
Reveal if there is something hidden in the blank page.
Maybe. So just a regular roll or
Yeah.
no?
You could spend 5 luck if you liked.
It's only 5.
It's only 5, sure. There we go.
It's a good idea, Jörg, by the way. Never even considered that.
And we're in investigation mode, so
So as the you kind of warm the page, you start to see not writing on the blank pages, but more design work, like symbols, kind of written into the page and then rendered invisible by the lemon juice. Give me a Cthulhu Mythos roll.
Is the mark from his forehead on it?
No.
Okay. A Cthulhu Mythos roll. A 3?
I got a 5.
I got a 3. I mean, we might as well all roll it and hope for the best.
We could multiply those and still not make this roll. Yeah.
20 luck for the doctor. Ugh.
And I think Salvatore has like an 8. Not sure if Mark's there or not, though.
Fire away if you're with us, Mark.
Might be worth to spend some luck on that. Probably gonna make me go insane if I do it, but
It's 20 luck, but I mean, you kind of came up with the idea, so.
yeah. Think I'm gonna spend
Sadly,
it.
ordinary occult isn't quite good enough.
It is not.
No.
Would a hard roll be a better or
No.
because the difference between a normal roll and a hard roll is 22 luck.
It's nothing, yeah.
All right. So you have seen that symbol before in the margins of a book that you can't quite remember the name of. That is an elder sign. It is specifically a symbol used to seal gateways and pathways to creatures from beyond mortal ken.
Oh.
Uh,
Okay. Somehow it makes sense. I seen that in a book somewhere. I think Elias was protecting his note from onlooker from strange things, like Peru things. Protecting his book from Peru things. This is a sigil of protection.
and as you look at
So
it, it looks roughly like a star, in the center of which there is a single giant eye. And certain lines suggest flames or a pillar of fire.
okay. Um, I'm gonna try to layer paper on it to try to make a copy of it.
You can make a copy of it pretty easily. It's a fairly simple drawing, really.
Yeah, but it might come in handy if it helps protect from those things or seal gateways and stuff like that. So I'd rather we don't have just one copy of it.
I did that on one of our pumpkins one year for Halloween.
And out of game, I know exactly which symbol it is.
Yeah.
I think Mark has not Mark gaming with us, but a friend of ours, Mark, has it as a stamp.
Yeah.
One of my friend has a tattoo of it, and we keep reminding him that if he gets blasted with an Eldritch spell, it will protect only the exact zone where the thing is. So
That's
it's gonna
right.
leave a little
Where?
bit of skin.
Where's the tattoo?
It's on his hand. Just a little bit of hand.
I,
The rest of him will be gone.
yes. So this symbol has been etched on the blank pages and like deliberately obscured.
I think he was trying to protect his notes, but I also know that, well, not know, but believe that he didn't want maybe the cultists or other people looking into his work to know that he was doing that.
Odd.
So that implies there's something significant in these notes,
Yeah.
like not just small, but or just a minor clue, but something significant that he's trying to hide, right?
Yes. The way it's done, the fact that the blank page has a symbol to protect from otherworldly sight, but is obscured for that cultists and other people would not see it, so that it doesn't look important. Probably he has made his text voluntarily obscured, so even if they read it, they don't see the importance of anything you put in it. I don't know what he was hiding though, but there's something in there.
Well, you just got to keep talking it through, see what we can come up with. While you do that, I'm going to hit the little boys' room.
Sounds fair.
Kind of cool to be able to do that in character. Back a sec.
Tell him to bring us back a bottle of something while he's at it. All right, so we have Carlisle expedition members who aren't deceased. We have a strange protective symbol on notes. What else was with that note? Like with that page? What other pages were bound up with that?
It's all just kind of one rambling book.
Okay, so that's where, what was it, 13 was the really creepy one?
Yep.
Yeah,
talks
okay,
about
so
his
it's
dream
bound
a
up
lot.
with 13.
He talks about his dream a lot in the book.
Mm.
And there seemed to be point of comparison between his dream and the dream that were reported from the Carlisle group. And he points out to the file of the psychoanalysis of the
Right,
Carlisle group.
which are now in storage.
Yeah, it's confidential, but maybe we could find a way to access those, and we could get insight on all of
That
that.
would be handy.
Not sure how, but that's
Either
an avenue we
you
can explore.
you or the lawyer, maybe?
I don't know if there's a way through the law to get this, considering professional secrets of doctors.
You
He might be able
guys can give me law rolls.
Maybe close family also. Maybe they could request it. Maybe if we can convince his sister to request them. Trying to get to my
to
law
find his
while
sister first.
yes.
I have a law of 5. Would be great. No.
We actually had quite good roll,
We did, but no.
even if for a law is terrible.
So I mean, we have to find his sister first.
It's not super difficult. She's a socialite. She's in the papers. She has an estate in Westchester.
True. We have to get her to talk to us.
If I
Although
remember
probably
well, she had
complicated.
wanted to avenge his brother's death and seek justice. And she did a lovely thing about that until a couple of tribesmen were executed for the murder. I remember well. So we'll have to be careful how we approach her.
Mm, very.
This is gonna be a very sensible thing. As for the medical file, I have no idea if there is any lawful way to get this done, but maybe we could ask the. I forgot his name, but Elias
Yes.
estate lawyer.
Yes, that's who I thought might be able to at least point us in the right direction.
Yeah.
I've had to get access to these files if the sister isn't helpful.
But since we will need to find links between the Carlisle expedition and that cult, we'll have to talk to her at some point. Anyway,
Mm.
see what we can link between those two part of the story.
I'm just wondering what they're doing here.
I mean, the cult seems to have murdered Elias because they were not very happy about him looking into the Carlisle file.
Do you think that's the only reason they were here?
Possibly not.
Hey guys, 30 people organized, as I said before. I don't think they just showed up.
No, what I was thinking is that those people were not happy that Elias was rummaging into the Carlisle file. So that
Seems clear, yeah.
their interest seems to go in a direction that would have contributed to making the Carlisle expedition disappear. And when Elias was looking into it, they had to make him disappear too, so that people wouldn't look further than where it was. So the fact that his sister got those tribe people executed for the murder might just be exactly what the cult wanted to be and stay that way. So Miss Carlisle might be a bit cold about the idea of the everything she did not being the right thing in the end. Like she wanted justice for her brother and got a couple of people executed. If we go and just jump and yeah, those were not the real culprit, and your brother is not avenged, she might feel like shit.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Like she might just throw us out because changing her mind on what happened would be heavy on her vision of herself. Like, so we'll have to handle her with delicately, let's say. Just not confront her with there's still a cult killing in the name of whatever your brother was looking for.
Well, I think speaking to her would be. I mean, the idea would be to try to figure out if she knows anything about what her brother was doing over the last while. Maybe get some insights.
Yeah. Just gonna be we're just gonna need a story about why we're asking her that in a way that she will want to answer us. Because there must be a bunch of sycophant asking about her brother. For either writing an article for the paper or just for clout. She's a socialite, so she must be used to people just trying to leech on her story.
And she's not going to like us anyway, because apparently her brother left all of his money to us instead of her. So,
I know it's
Well,
Elias.
no, no, no.
Elias left us money. It's the Carlisle. The
oh,
Carlisles are
sorry.
not
Yeah,
the
yeah.
other.
Never mind. Never mind. Ignore that. Wrong people.
And the Carlisle are probably way more rich than that.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
So
did we distill
we
our New York area down to the sister? And was there another one?
The
in New
sister, the
York,
psychiatrist's notes,
yeah, and the book you wanted to borrow from Harvard.
but that's a state away.
Yeah, it's still America. I'm still classifying as nearby.
Yes, true.
I mean,
It
I
is
also
nearby
have
by comparison.
a matchbox from a bar in Shanghai.
Where was that? Why? Why should? Oh wait, is that where he ran into the fellow he recognized that was going under a different name?
I don't know, just one of the things we found on him when we found him.
Yeah.
I'm keeping the Harvard as an option close by because we also could go check that place, but
Oh no.
that's like half a word away. And I'd still be interested to go to Arkham to discuss with the Australian professor more in depth about his research to see where it might intersect with our problem.
And we're meeting with the prisoner, what, tomorrow?
Monday.
Monday.
So
Tomorrow. Yes, she flips through the book. Um, Nails Nelson claimed to have seen Jack Brady alive in Hong Kong.
and
So that
the
might be where
journalist.
the matchbook came from.
The matchbook seems to indicate a bar in Shanghai. But for the prisoner, the journalist also said she would look into having us discuss with his sister or his wife. His wife.
Whose wife? Carlyle's? He's not married.
No, I'm thinking about Monday. We're going to see Smith in prison. The guy who was convicted for murdering the other people that the cult murdered.
Oh, yes, yes. Right, right.
He had a wife, and the journalist said she would ask her if she would be willing to meet us.
Okay.
Okay, well, we're not going to be able to get medical records on a Sunday,
No.
Oh, that's
And
for
we-
sure.
and we can't meet the prisoner until Monday.
Yep.
So, can we arrange to meet the wife today?
Well, the journalist was supposed to contact us when she had contacted her. So we're waiting on a call for that. So we could poke her again to see if anything showed up, but not much we can do on that front until she get her part done. We also said we should go see Poole, the inspector.
For
Giving him a little heads up of what we found so far. So if shit should go down, he had something to follow through with.
that's more of an Alvin thing, don't you think?
Seems like a
Yeah,
job for Al.
probably. Yeah, definitely
He
is.
seems to have a natural closeness with the police.
Yeah,
Might as well put it to good use.
yeah. I'm trying to think of things that we could put into
Do while we wait
motion.
for morning.
Well, I mean, we want to go maybe scope out the Juju Club this evening.
Just to see what's happening.
Or should we wait to make sure that everyone's, healthy and okay before we stick our head over there again?
I don't know how to deal with that place, honestly. Like, if there's 30 people in there, we cannot just get in there.
Well, I assume they don't go in there all the time.
Yeah.
Cults
No.
must be like church, right? They show up every Sunday or something. Saturdays in this place's case.
I love your reasoning.
You can't
Yeah,
go to
but-
church every day.
I mean, it must be a
Oh,
Tuesday
you'd be
mass or something.
surprised.
Might be a Tuesday mass or something.
There are absolutely people who go to church every day.
Well, I mean, I've stopped by as often as I can.
You never struck me as being all that religious. Interesting.
So, if we're doing something today as opposed to waiting till tomorrow, I suggest that we maybe see if we can take a look around the Juju Club. Might be able to get inside. It's probably empty.
It's a Sunday, so it's probably closed, yes. But
Wait till
think
the
about
evening.
who you have for backup till the evening. True.
I mean, there might just still be guard outside, though.
Probably not. That's probably when they put guards out for a gathering, right?
Well,
It would be rather suspicious. I think,
after the
to have.
gathering, there was still guard outside.
Well, there's two less.
I'm just concerned that if there's trouble, your backup is the doctor and me.
I'm just throwing out options.
Probably wouldn't bode well for you. I have nothing against us finding a spot somewhere on the street where we can watch the comings and goings, if there are any. But I
can be
don't
good back
recommend
up in the jungle.
confrontation.
I can be good back up in the jungle, but in the city, very much less so. I can
Too
I can
many
justify a Jaguar hunting rifle here very much less.
far too inhibited.
And the local law enforcement would not look at me well for just hunting winos in alleys.
Yeah, it's frowned upon here.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind screaming and hitting people with my cane, but I don't think it would be particularly effective given the cane versus very large knife. I think I'd be at a
Yeah, we have a
bit of a
problem with very large
disadvantage
knives.
there.
I'd like to take a look, unless there's strong objections. I mean, not to anything
I'm
stupid.
No, I'm just saying, keep in mind, don't do anything extravagant because we're your backup.
Backup will be
And
limited.
we'll do what we can, but what we can do
Uh,
isn't much.
we could also eventually go at the importers of the Juju house. Someone brings
Yeah.
in from Africa all his materials. Maybe if we can ask question around there, we could maybe size Mr. Silas a bit more. Probably something we cannot do right now either, but we do have the name of his procurer.
Emerson Imports.
Yes.
Well, if nothing else, just knowing what happens in the evenings on a weekend will give us some insight, right?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And if it's super quiet and they left the window unlocked, maybe I'll just see what I can see.
Be careful.
Yeah.
I don't want you to end up in the same situation that Mr. Guerrero's in. Or worse.
It'll be fine. We'll be careful.
I don't know. I'm trying to understand what was his deal with Shanghai, though.
I don't think
That
there's
would
anything else with Shanghai.
He had a
no,
picture
just
of
that
Shanghai, and he has a matchbook from Shanghai.
think it was just from Nails Nelson about seeing one of the Carlisle members alive, or that he thought he had seen one of them alive. As far as I can tell, that's the only reason.
Okay.
I
I,
haven't seen any other notes about the East.
and nothing else steers towards the east, as far as I can see.
Oh, I'm not
Not
looking
that I've
into
noticed.
that, but I was wondering what Elias was seeing in it, because he's been looking at it more than once, so there must have been something. Trying to piece what he was on, what files he was going right at the moment.
Well, we know he picked that matchbook off of somebody he was talking to or found it at a bar.
Yeah. It's just that if we can find the link, maybe it links to something in New York.
Now, before we go out and stake this place out, I'm going to say something. There's an elephant in this room, and I'm going to say it out loud, all right? After the doctor did his fancy stuff with the book and found that, what'd you call it, an elder sign?
Yeah.
We're definitely in Peru territory now, right?
Yep.
We're all hoping there was no Peru territory going on here. There's no Peru nonsense, but this starting to smell an awful lot like Peru.
I mean, I didn't see anything Peru nonsense, but Elias did.
Well, there's Peru nonsense in that fucking book. Right? we just found Peru nonsense, and he's talking about dreams and there's stuff coming out of the sky, and so
Yeah.
we just got to
That's
keep our
all.
minds open or closed, whichever's safer. But we have to understand there could be shenanigans happening.
Yep,
Correct.
that cult is more than just fanatics. It might be some maggoty thing.
No, nothing about that. Miss Collins, you're a bit of an expert on that side of the spectrum.
Yes, and they carved something into his forehead that had some meaning to them, even if we don't know what it is yet. So,
I'm just saying that shenanigans are probably in play.
Yep.
There, I've said it. I don't want to say it again. It would just.
well, it wouldn't be Elias if there wasn't something slightly troubling.
He did some book about just people being terrible.
Yeah, well,
Sometimes-
we read the
Those aren't
book.
the interesting ones.
We read the book about the stuff that we did, and it was a lot more shenanigans in what we did than what he wrote in the book. So
Yeah, on that one you got a point.
maybe the rest of them are the same. I don't know. I just saying there's strange things, and Miss Collins, you're gonna have to guide us through some of this shenanigans, like I say,
I'll do what I can.
and Dr. Carter as well. I mean, you guys understand this stuff. You just I don't know nothing about it.
It's all right. We'll make sure that you don't get taken over by anyone's spirit. It'll be fine.
Yeah, last spirit I found, I lit on fire. I think.
Oh, maybe I'll refrain from attempting any seance work while drinking.
Yeah, I think we've learned that. Thank you.
I mean, lots of there might be strangeness afoot. Lots of things are bullshit. But if the people we're looking for are believing in that bullshit, we need to be aware of it.
But I'm just saying I don't know if there's bullshit or if there's like nonsense. That
I mean-
thing that you drew seems like it seems a little more legit than
Yeah.
like the
I
fucking
mean-
thing just looks strange looking at it.
There is the real strange thing, there is the thing people believes in, and there is the Peru stuff. We need to classify between which one of those three things we are facing.
Should
At
get
any
that holy
one
one.
given point.
I did recommend it. I mean, I don't know that it would have done any good. Can't speak to the validity of any particular church, but
Well, I confessed my sins this morning, so my conscience is clear.
I'd rather have holy water and not having a use for it than not having holy water and not having a need for it.
better holy water than regular water.
Yep, might as well. If I'm gonna carry water, might as well get it best. That's where I am mentally.
Let's go see what we can see at the Juju house. We'll keep it, far back. We'll just see what we can see.
Yeah, just let's play this more safer than less.
Much
Much-
more cautiously than we did last time.
All right. And as we go, I'm wondering how that confessional went. Dear Father, I assassinated 2 people yesterday. Killed them in cold blood.
Yeah,
Execution style.
and you've given some poor priest nightmares.
Fuckers deserved it. I'm just saying. But
Well, I mean,
Last time you did go do
both
your
cases.
confession about the Peru stuff to a guy who just spoke Spanish, so you had the right. You could explain everything in detail in English. That's nothing of it. That sounds like a good solution. So you're seeing as absolved. You didn't get some trauma. Everyone's happy.
All right.
as long as you
Um,
confess to someone who doesn't speak English, it's fine.
I think I would have killed one of them. But
I think so. I know you killed both.
Did
We
Luther?
left you to interrogate one, and then we heard a gunfire, a
Oh.
gunshot.
yeah, I had a conversation.
Uh-huh.
He bit off his own tongue, and I shot him.
Yeah,
Uh,
he bit on his tongue and spit it out to you.
Yeah.
And he did say
I got
something
the point.
about his soul will be reborn on the mouth of the Black Wind.
Well, that's familiar.
I don't know if Luther was paying that much attention.
Yeah, that's why I'm differentiating between the Peru stuff The shitty things people believe and the real occult stuff. Like, I saw Miss Collins getting possessed. That's the occult stuff. I saw the Peru stuff. That's the Peru stuff. That guy saying he's gonna be reborn is probably the bullshit religious part. That's how I classify or encounter.
Just all goes in different boxes.
Something tells me we're going to find out because we're going to end up at that fucking Black Mountain. Or Mountain of the Black Wind or
Probably.
whatever it's called.
Probably eventually, yeah.
Be like, oh, I shot you in an alley. You were right. I'm sorry. I thought you were full of shit.
And we're gonna have
We
tea.
doubted you.
So Saturday evening passes without incident. Everybody gets a good night's sleep. Sanity, max sanity loss for the day resets. Those of you who are wounded heal a point.
I thought we were at Sunday.
So did I.
The funeral and the will reading was Saturday, so I assume all this talking and everything has been Saturday evening, and then Sunday you can go and do things.
Okay.
Perfect.
Sounds good to me.
Because I don't think you want to go out at like 2:00 in the morning in January in New York in winter.
I'm not a fan, though.
So you make your way back to Harlem, back to Ransom Street, and to the Juju house. And it is closed up because it's Sunday. I mean, there's people around. Nobody in the little square that leads into like Ransom Court itself. But there are some people like out and about on the streets on like 137th Street and 138th Street and all that sort of stuff. But people kind of look at you a little bit strange because, you know, it's daytime and you're white people in Harlem. You're obviously not here for the clubs and stuff.
True.
Not on a Sunday.
But there doesn't seem to be any sign of guards or anything on Juju House. But everybody can give me a spot hidden.
Those are not reassuring words.
The trick to Call of Cthulhu is you have to figure out when do you want to make the spot hidden and when do you want to fail the spot hidden.
I would like to make this one.
I don't get choices like that.
If you're looking for guards, you kind of want to make them.
If you're looking for the elder sign, you probably don't.
If you need me to make the spot hidden roll, I'll need a prompt.
Yeah, I sent a prompt to the chat there.
Gotta say, we're closing in on 10 with a group of 3. We've done pretty well.
We managed to score thousands of dollars.
Thousands of dollars.
The system tells me I don't have the permission to make a roll, and then if like a minute or two afterward, the roll actually appears.
Yeah, that's because I hit the roll button, so I'll have to take a look at the permissions. I don't know why it says you don't. I'll have to look into that. All right. So looking around, there's no guards or anything posted. But Luther, you do notice in like some of the nearby tenement buildings, there are like people kind of looking out the windows at you.
Just because we kind of stand out, right?
You're not completely comfortable saying that's the only reason, but it is a valid reason.
Depends if we want to rationalize or not.
So you guys just wait here. I'm gonna just go see if I could see anything at the window or.
Okay.
Yeah, you just stay. Make sure you can
Careful.
run. I'm just gonna go knock on the door, see if he's home.
I'll get right on that.
Ring and run.
Right. So you approach the building. Kind of look through the windows. No lights on. No sign of any movement. Door's locked.
What kind of door is it?
It's just like a normal shop door.
Does it got windows on it?
Yep. You look through. I mean, you can see the display cases and stuff through like the little bit of light filtering in from the alley and from the windows, but no sign of it being open or operational, or no sign of anybody.
I'll give the door a knock. Kind of put my hand under my jacket onto my pistol just in case.
No response.
Miss Collins, I don't think he's here.
Good.
Well, you said that you expected he was going to be here this morning. Kind of gives a look like, yeah, you said that.
I would a little kind of have a slight deer in headlights look on her face for a minute, like, what are you talking about? And then she'll try to fill in as though she knows what's going on. Yes, well, he said he had some sort of special item that he would be able to show me this morning, but if he isn't here yet, he isn't here yet.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be here any minute. We'll just maybe you guys grab a cup of coffee. I'll wait here for him. It's fine.
That's so kind of you. I do appreciate the ability to get in out of the cold for a few minutes. Will you join me, Doctor? Let's go get some coffee and let Luther do what he's going to do.
Let's find a spot not too far.
Maybe one that goes by a few alleyways so we can take a look down them and make sure no one's waiting. I think isn't that the one where we were? Oh, that's the one where Luther and I were spotted.
Let's pick another one.
All right.
Do you think Luther needs a bit of M time?
Don't worry, Chris. I have a plan.
Okay.
Yes, we're splitting up the already split up party.
I'm mostly seeing if the dialogue has stopped the people from watching us, turning it into a normal situation, or if it's people actually watching us.
Give me a spot hidden. It looks like they're basically looky-loos. You know, like the old grandmother watching out what's going on in the neighborhood, sort of thing.
So not like sentries,
Right.
just people that are curious.
Right.
Just the neighborhood nosies.
Would I happen to be so lucky for them to look away for a moment?
Give me a luck roll. Absolutely.
Oh.
Ooh, hard success. They're not paying any attention at all to you.
So as they're watching the doctor and Miss Collins kind of they're looky-looing over there now. Oh, maybe there are a couple. I'll just take
We'll
my
be very
pistol out and break one pane of glass. The one that I can reach in and grab the doorknob.
Okay. I was going to say a simple lock like this, you can actually use mechanical repair to pick.
That would be even better because I have that skill.
Yeah, mechanical repair, you can pick simple locks. You just can't do anything beyond a simple lock.
Even if that's just grabbing the knob and turning it really hard, right?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Perfect. All right.
So I don't want to go in. I just want to unlock the door.
Okay. It unlocks.
And then I'll yell back to the other two. Oh, hey, he's coming. He's coming.
Evelyn will look at Dr. Carter with her eyes just wide, like, oh no, what has he done? Oh dear. We need to get back there. He's going to get in so much trouble on his own.
Is that supposed to be safer? We said safer.
Somehow getting the party back together is worse.
I. Well.
Better get back to him before you do something terrible and stupid.
Yes. Before he gets out of range of my cane.
Yeah. You mean walking range or hitting range?
Hitting range. Definitely hitting range.
Yeah.
They're awful close to the same range.
They are. That's true. She's kind of short.
All right. You guys can catch up to him easily.
What have you done? Did you break in?
Oh, it was open.
It was open. Really?
Come on. Just take a look real quick.
Evelyn will step inside.
Let's do it quickly.
Shut the door. Luther pulls his gun. Okay, smart people. Let's find out what we could find out.
Mr. Sharp wanted the ledger, so if we're gonna be breaking in, I'm just gonna get what he wanted for. We can also just check for the trapdoor underneath to see if it really leads to something else.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch the door while you guys look around.
Let's do this quickly.
Like 10 minutes, right?
10 minutes seems a bit much. Let's do it fast.
Okay.
Quite.
I'll point to where I think I saw the ledger last time.
Okay.
Have a quick look around while we're not under scrutiny, and we can check under the carpet for the door just to see if it leads somewhere. Do not go down the trap under the carpet. Just want to know if it opens up or on something.
You can easily find the ledger. It's right where it was last time. There is a door in the back. Actually, that door's not locked. So there's a door in the back. And Luther, you can feel that there's definitely something underneath that rug.
All right. Do we want to check the rug or the door first?
The door might be a Silas living space.
Yeah, if he's by himself, that'd be great.
Ah, God.
If he was here, he would have heard us by now.
I was pretty quiet getting through the door. Want me to look or?
At this point,
Yeah.
we better. At this point, we better take a look.
Okay, just read that journal real quick. Look for the things he was looking for. Memorize it.
I'm gonna take notes.
Okay. Yeah,
Uh,
the ledger it's a pretty basic business ledger, just like income and expenses.
yep.
But you do notice that there is a recurring weekly notation of a WR, like initials W period R period 14.
WR14.
Yep, and they seem to be weekly money going out.
Okay. And 14 is a number like money amount or just
It's hard to say. It might just be a code for something.
okay, good. Noted. And Alvin wanted to check the specific date where the first murder was
Yeah, the ledger doesn't go back that far.
okay.
It's a business ledger, so it only covers the current year.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Actually, in this case, it would probably be like last year's ledger would be there as well.
Okay.
But you don't find any correlation between murder dates and sales or anything of that nature.
Okay. I'll still note the WR14 and check if it goes back far.
It does. It
Okay.
goes back like every week for as long as the ledger goes back.
Okay.
Okay.
Miss Collins, is it anything in this room? Does it stand out as something weird? Like you're kind of weird.
Evelyn will start looking around for occult items.
Like minor things, like like spirit whistles and like protection drums and that sort of thing.
Okay.
All right, I've got to check the door.
Everything here is just run of the mill occult. I hate that I'm phrasing it like that. And yet, it's all what I would expect as opposed to Peru stuff.
Well, that's good, right?
That's how we're classifying things now, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Ordinary occult. A lot of
Ordinary,
spiritual items. Not a
ordinary
lot of
occult, bullshit occult, and peri occult.
this is all genuine occult. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, when I'm talking about bullshit occult, I'm just thinking about religious belief about going
The
to be
holy
resurrected
water.
on a mountain. You know.
The holy water and the confessing sins thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Door.
So Luther kind of crosses, does the sign of the cross with with his gun in his hand,
Is that safe?
and then tries to crack that door as quietly as he can.
I suppose it's kept him alive this long.
He was a fighter pilot in World War One, right? So
And he's still alive, so yeah, it's fair. That looks like a bedroom from what I can see.
the lighting's a little wonky in here.
I'm just getting like a one little line of it looks like it crosses over the end of a bed.
Yeah, me too. And I'm in the room.
Okay.
It's because I didn't put a light source in the room.
That would do it.
I love how this game is so terrifying. You're just like, I could open a door. Oh my god!
I mean, there could be 30 cultists hidden in that room, so you know.
You never know. That's the thing.
Yeah, this is it's very obviously sleeping quarters.
Empty, I assume.
Empty. Little bed, dresser. Some clothes piled up, a little chair, a desk.
Guys, come look. It's empty.
I'm gonna come in and do a little cursory search. I don't want to. I don't want it to look like we've been in there, so I'm not tossing and turning, but I'm trying to do a quick search to see for anything occult or para-occult.
Okay. Give me a spot hidden roll, those of you who are searching.
Or for bloody knife, you know.
Oh well, I'm doing well on the spot hidden, which is good right now, but not so good in the future.
I'll need a spot hidden prompt.
No,
All right.
I see nothing.
I think I'll have to roll it for you because proficiency. Oh, an 81. But Luther, under the bed, you see a package wrapped up in what looks like a leopard skin.
Yeah, he'll pull it out.
Okay. And it feels like there's two items. One of them moderately heavy wrapped up in it.
We want to look at this here. We want to just.
It's not gonna be very discreet to go away from here with the leopard skin wrapped something. Let's check what it is.
Huh?
Right.
Just asking.
If you run out of Ransom Alley with a leopard skin wrapped thing, somebody gonna find that strange and report that.
I,
And he'll notice it's not here when he comes back.
so as you unwrap it there, Luther, there's two things. There's one of those panga knives, one of those long machete like knives, and there's also like an African tribal mask like carved out of wood. Um, and where the mouth slit is a mummified human tongue. Make a sanity roll for me.
Uh,
Everybody or just him?
Oh, he's the only one that's up there right now.
Oh, good. Okay.
Right. So you lose 1 point of sanity. And you guys all hear this this like, oh my, yeah.
God. Um,
Are you
Nope.
all right?
no. Yeah. Yeah. No. All this can all stay right here.
Evelyn will start walking toward him.
No, you don't want to see this. This is these people are fucked.
All right.
I'll yeah. Just let me put this away back to where I found it. Kind of tie it back up. It's a mask. Looks African. There's a human tongue on it. It's yeah.
All right.
So it's just his ritual apparels. Yes.
I guess as far as I could tell, one of the machetes there too.
Yeah, so he's a member. You see a tiny hat with a little string on it?
Don't see any red bandanas or nothing, but
Okay.
Give me let's call it an intelligence roll there, Luther.
intelligence.
Maybe if he's wearing a mask, he doesn't need to wear a bandana.
Oh well.
Yeah, what Dr. Carter just said.
I assume it's a higher rank, right?
Exactly.
I really don't like this guy.
Maybe we found the leader. I do not advise we go down, but I advise we check if the trap do go down. And was there any passage between his room and the abandoned pawn shop? Was
No,
my
there's
other
not.
theory.
Don't
My
see
other
anything.
theory that they had a passage there, and they congregate on that mixed building. Okay.
We're gonna have to look underneath, right?
Yep. But I do not advise we go explore underneath. That's my point. But checking if it's the path they're using is important.
It's a fair compromise. At least we know which direction it goes, right?
Yep. And if it's just going to the sewer of town, that's not the same thing if it's a big basement. Very carefully, let's check that out.
As you kind of carefully move the rug out of the way, there is an inset steel handle for a trapdoor.
Is there a lock on it?
There is not.
Okay. I'm gonna put an ear to it, see if I hear noise coming from the other side.
Okay. Make a listen roll.
Listen. Uh,
The gamer in me knows this is such a bad idea.
The dread builds.
the point is, I really don't want us to go down there, but I want to know what's down there. But I don't want to go down there.
The characters want to go, the players do not.
I know, right? You're just like, this is a dumb idea, but
My character is so she has bad ideas.
You
Yep.
do not hear anything.
all right, Doctor, and just everybody back up. Let me lift this thing up. I'm gonna take a real quick look, and we're gonna get the hell out of here, right?
Yep. You just look. Don't fling it open. Don't make too much noise. Just crack it open, have a look, and let's leave.
Well, how about you crack it open, and I'll just have a gun here in case something spooky comes in.
Yeah. I'll put myself on the other side of the trap and open it so that looters can have a look and have a line of sight inside.
Okay. All right.
I'm
So
trying
as
to
you
not open it fully, you just crack it open.
as you kind of lift the trapdoor, it is pitch dark down there. So you have to open it like a little bit more to get some light in. But there's a set of stairs, barely wide enough for one person. And it looks like it goes downwards about 20 feet or so, and then slips away into what appears to be a corridor.
And does the corridor goes toward the pawn shop, toward the street, or toward the back of the building?
It goes this way. Oh, sorry. Okay, the stairs go this way. I had to orient my map properly.
The layers of map.
Stairs kind of go that way.
And then the corridor takes off north, south, east, west.
The stairs go down and then they open into the corridor, so it's all the same direction.
So they're going east, essentially.
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry, the stairs were under the rug in the main. Excellent. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah. And as you look down the corridor there, Luther, you can see partway, like all the way down at the end of the corridor, a door on the. As you're looking down the stairs, the door would be on your right hand side.
And that's the only door I see.
And that's the only thing you see, and that's assuming like you're shining a flashlight down to get some light.
I'm literally chewing my nails right now. we gotta leave it, right, guys? We can't go down there.
We can't go there.
Not with only the three of us, no. That would
Uh,
be ridiculous.
And
Right?
everybody can give me a spot hidden roll.
Oh,
We were gonna do the right thing.
And I'm slowly closing the thing because I'm the one holding the thing. So my
If we'd
common
done the
sense
right
would
thing,
be
if we'd done the right thing, we'd still be in the alleyway right now.
We'd still be at church.
You'd still be in church. I don't think Evelyn goes to those places.
I'll leave the prompt.
All right. I think I have to do the roll too. So. Ooh, an extreme
Oh,
success.
wow.
Carter.
Oh, wow.
As you look down, you can see that the walls and the ceiling and the floor of the corridor are stone, cut into like basically stone slabs that have been laid, and there are tribal symbols cut into the stone slabs.
Oh,
And you can give me an anthropology roll.
I was hoping for archaeology, but yeah, anthropology is appropriate. Nope.
No. I mean, he could spend 86 luck.
Could Evelyn take a look?
Sure.
I mean,
I'm gonna.
my anthropology is pretty low. Was this a difficult roll?
Nope.
Okay. No. Only
With
12 off, though.
12 luck, I'd probably try it.
Yeah. Sure.
With
I'll
with
spend
a
the 12 luck.
with the extreme perception success, would I be able to retrace some of them by memory?
I would say yes.
Okay.
I will note that you could have chosen to push that if you wanted to go down into the
Oh!
tunnel to get a better luck.
We're trying not to.
I would honestly rather do that. I would rather do that than spend the luck.
Okay. Bearing in mind that if you fail the pushed roll, something bad happens. It's not just you failed.
Oh, yeah, right.
That's the big thing with pushing in this one.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I want to let you go down. I want to leave this.
Don't push the 22%.
Okay, okay. We'll let you guys stop her so that I'll just spend the luck.
Okay. Evelyn, you've seen these symbols before in a book in a library someplace. Those are tribal signs from the Kikuyu tribe. It's Kikuyu. And they symbolize evil.
And they're probably African?
The summoning of or protection from?
Just they
Or owned by?
They symbolize evil.
Okay.
I think it's a warning.
It is not protection.
Just a bunch of pentagrams everywhere.
Oh, that would be just ordinary English stuff. Very British. All right.
Just so Anita is aware, the Kikuyu people are an ethnic group native to central Kenya.
Okay. Central?
Yeah.
Narrowing down that African search.
Yeah.
I mean, the knife did come from Kenya.
Okay, so looks like
And
we're
these
heading to
spots,
Africa sometime.
what are these symbols on?
They're carved into the stone on the walls and the floor.
Oh. Uh, I'm getting distinct Peru feelings.
We really got to get out of here.
Yep.
Like as much as I want to open that door,
Time
I
to go.
think we need more backup, right?
We
If I had a battalion, I'd be up for it. But right now, I want to close that, put the carpet on it, and go away so that it doesn't look like we've been here.
I mean, it's early. Yeah, you never know. We might be able to get the gang together and maybe in an hour or so take a look.
But right now, we need to go.
I agree.
see how everyone else is feeling.
I have a bad vibe about this place.
We'll discuss it at the.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
I got a good look at the thing on the wall. I can retrace them for you, but we need to be off.
Yes.
Make sure everything's back in its place where it started.
Okay.
Make sure everything's back on in place. The books, the carpet, the doors.
All right. Whoever has the lowest luck can give me a luck roll.
I got 71.
Mine's currently 48.
I'm 43 right now.
Not it. Thankfully, I'm sure.
If you guys went to church, your luck would be a little higher. But it doesn't matter when you roll like that.
Perfect. You did not leave any trace of your presence
Wow.
here.
Nicely done.
And as you kind of close the door to keep your house behind you and make your escape, we will call it there.
5 minutes before Tony turns into a pumpkin.
If we had more time, I would have opened that fucking door.
I know you would.
The whole time I'm watching it, just dreading. It's like, oh no, we can't go down there. That's
We're just three of us.
Yeah, it's just I was watching the clock and I'm like, can we do one door? Chris says, I'm like, we don't have time.
no. It's okay. It's better with backups. We can leave someone upstairs watching the door to cause a distraction, or two someones even. Two big burly someones.
We want those inside.
Oh well, yeah, that's true.
Okay. All right. So everybody can roll to recover their luck points.
My first use of luck was tonight. And I just
I have not succeeded on that yet.
Neither have I.
Shocking, I'm sure. Yeah, Evelyn's luck's gonna run out mighty quick.
It's not like karma, right? You get so few luck back that you only can spend a little bit at a time, right? Like 12 luck is a huge amount.
I know, but
did I ever roll my recovery luck? Did it work or not?
you rolled and it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering, the elder sign we found in this book, can we actually use it?
You can actually try to cast it as a spell.
Okay, because I saw you post the spell description in Discord, and I was wondering if it was a spell we had access to now.
It is. I will note though that casting the spell takes 10 power, not 10 magic points.
Power is the
It's an attribute.
yeah. So it permanently lower the attributes.
Yes, you can raise your power, but it requires you to do like worse spells that pit your power against somebody else, and if you defeat them, then your power can go up.
Okay. Does the power is gone forever once you make an elder sign, or does it come back when it's destroyed or stop being used?
Nope, it's gone for attempting to cast the spell.
Wow.
Okay.
And
So
the,
it looks a bit like, look, it goes away,
Mhm.
but it doesn't come back unless something special happens.
yep. And the first time you cast a spell, you have to roll. I think it's a hard power roll to cast a spell. I'll have to look up the actual rules. But once you have successfully cast a spell the first time, once you have learned it and mastered it, then there's no further rolls to cast it.
Okay, still a cost, but no roll.
Yeah.
It looks like a good spell to know.
It's limited in what it does, but it's potent in what it does.
Yeah, it blocks a portal. Like, it could be a door, it could be a pathway, it could be an actual portal.
It's a stop spell as opposed to come here spell. You know what I mean? Like it's a stop the bad thing spell.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. But yes, we will call it there, and we'll see everybody next week.
Wow, that was tense, guys. Super tense.
It was very
I mean,
tense.
not much happened, but we made it tense for ourselves.
Oh my god. No, see, the system really helps with that too, right? Like if we ran into a fight, we were toast, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh yeah,
But you have to do those dangerous things to get the info to keep the investigation going. It's a great system. It's good, and I never thought I was going to like it. So
And you
Has
guys,
some very nice narrative moments of,
Yep.
the montage of them sitting around a hotel room, filtering through papers, trying to figure out some kind of sense.
and the board with string, yeah, no, it's good.
oh yeah,
Board with string, creeping around a basement.
I know I can be useful in the fight, but my way of fighting is not appropriate for New York City, so I cannot help around here.
Massive gun. Yeah, little obvious.
and you guys have like a wealth of information now as to what is going on at this point.
Oh
none
yeah.
of it makes sense, but yep, we've got a wealth of it.
Just a matter of piecing together. And I'll throw the letters and everything that you got from Jackson up in the Discord so you can kind of peruse them at your leisure when you get a chance.
Excellent.
Because paying attention to those handouts will be key.
There's a lot to them.
Yep.
Yeah, we're not lacking in pathway of looking into. I'm missing my words here, but we have lots of things to look into.
Yeah.
Like, we're not missing any pathway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, one of the things that's nice about this campaign is it starts off simple, right? Investigate a friend's murder. But now, you've got evidence that leads you to, 4 different places. Like, Kenya's been mentioned a couple of times. Hong Kong's been mentioned. London's been mentioned. Australia's been mentioned.
Yep.
I mean, some things have stronger clues than others that will point you in a direction that you may want to go, but you can attack those in whatever way you want, whatever order you want. So
Next week we're going through that door, probably 15 minutes from this moment in game.
yeah, we'll see what's behind door number 1.
That's my plan anyway.
I have a guess that it is evil. From
We'll see if I
the writing on the wall, the literal
See if-
writing on the wall.
Exactly. We'll see if Evelyn can manage to impress upon them. Feels like a corridor in Peru to change folks' mind. Because we don't have gold to seal anything up with this time.
All right, guys. We will see everyone next week. Most of you tomorrow. All of you tomorrow, actually.
Yep, we'll see everybody
Yeah.
tomorrow for Forbidden Lands, and see everybody next week for more Call of Cthulhu.
All right.
Roll
Cheers, guys.
it's dizzy.
Have a good night.
Night.
Good night.